I bought this Tesla Model 3 performance model 1 year ago for $58,290. I've driven it 17,000 miles. I have some experience with this car that I want to share with you if you're thinking about buying your own Tesla. I'm going to share all the problems, issues, and all the things that I love about my car. Welcome to the channel, everybody. My name is Jason. I am the owner of two high-end detail shops here in the Chicagoland area. We've worked on hundreds of these Teslas, and when my last car's engine blew up, I decided that I needed to go something for a little bit different, so I chose the Tesla Model 3. I chose the Tesla Model 3 for a couple reasons. One is that I live 70 miles away from the shop, so it's 140 miles for me every day. That's 700 miles a week. It was costing me about $460 a month just in gas. So I did some calculations. I calculated the energy costs versus the gas savings, and I was gonna save about $3,800 a year just by driving an electric vehicle. That's $19,000 over 5 years. So it was a no-brainer. I got the Tesla. You want to get some shots of it taking off? The second reason I chose a Tesla is because Autopilot. Now it takes me an hour to get to work from my house, so it's 2 hours a day, 10 hours a week that I'm in my car. And the thought of a self-driving car and it giving me the opportunity to do something else with those 10 hours, I love it. I absolutely love it. I can get a lot of texting or emailing or answering all your wonderful comments on my YouTube channels. I know what you're probably thinking right now. You probably want to leave a comment down below saying how irresponsible that is. And I kind of agree, but it's one of my most favorite things that I love about my car. So let's talk about it a little more. Autopilot works by tapping twice on the gear level and you'll hear the chimes. That means you're in Autopilot, and then you can actually look on the screen right here. You have this highlighted blue wheel, and then you have the highlighted speed where you can actually change that. You can actually go up and down and change that max speed. Now, as long as the cameras aren't blocked and you have lines on the road, the car does a very good job at keeping you in the center of the lane. And then if you come up on traffic that is a little bit slower than your max speed, the car will actually slow down itself. And if that car moves lanes, you can actually speed up. Now, I did not get the full self-driving mode, which does like city street driving. I'm mostly just driving on the highways, so the Autopilot just works perfect for me. And then every couple minutes or so, the screen is gonna turn blue and it'll prompt you to put some pressure on the steering wheel. Make sure that you're paying attention to the road. For the most part, it's been fantastic. I feel very comfortable with it. There's only a couple things that the car will get a little weird on, and that's if the lines like disappear. I've gone on some roads where the lines are almost worn off, and then when you go into a lane that gets bigger, so if you go into a merging lane or if you're going off the highway and the lane gets bigger, the car gets a little bit confused and it doesn't really know what to do. Also in construction zones, like all the different cones, and then sometimes the lines aren't even in the right places, or you have multiple lines on the road, it gets a little weird, so I don't trust it in construction zones at all. So if I'm going into a construction zone, I just turn the Autopilot off and just drive myself. It did take a while to get used to it and feel comfortable, but on the highways, I feel very comfortable with putting this in Autopilot and answering a few emails, doing some text. Yes, it is irresponsible, but I get a lot of work done and I do trust the car. And this technology is only gonna get better with time. The car drives fantastic, it's very smooth. The acceleration is very impressive. Right when you press on that pedal, it just goes, there's no hesitation whatsoever. This is a performance model, so I got the dual motor, so it has that power behind it, so I like to scare the crap out of people if they've ever been in a Tesla before. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
That's bad. Oh my Unbelievable.
God. It's hilarious. The minimalism of the car was also a little weird to get used to. I kept on looking right here for the speedometer and all the gauge cluster when I first got in it. Everything, all the information that you need to know is on the left hand of this screen. And I've gotten used to it, and it's not that hard to look. It's not that different. One of the first things I actually did was I got a tilt screen. So normally this is just stationary right in the middle. My friend Adam helped me install this. Highly recommend it. Now I can tilt it just a little bit and I can see the screen a little better, and I can control anything that I want to control right there. My buttons are here, so if I want to use the stereo system or if I want to change the max speed, they're right here, easy to use. One of my favorite things about the car is actually the stereo system. So you have this huge map right in the center. I can navigate to wherever I want to. It's nice and in your face. I have Spotify right on the screen. And one of my favorite things to do is listen to music. I have a huge passion for music and listening to loud music. And I'm not an audio connoisseur of any sorts, but whatever they have in this for the stereo system, it's perfect. It's clear, it's loud, and the bass is right on. You can do all the controls. I love it. It's exactly what I need. One thing I do not like about the car, and this is probably about the only thing I don't like about the car, is actually the windshield wipers. Not that big of a deal, but the dispensing for the fluid is right in the middle of the windshield wipers. So if you're traveling at a high rate of speed, all that fluid's just being blown away from the windshield. So the windshield doesn't get very clean. How bad it is. That was probably a bad idea. Look at how bad. If you're gonna use that windshield wiper, it would have made sense to actually put the dispensing system in the cowl so it actually shoots up on the windshield, and I think it'd do a much better job. Not a big deal, but it is kind of annoying. You actually turn on the windshield wipers by pressing this button on this gear shifter. You press that button there and it just turns on. You don't have any controls on the gear shifter. You actually have to go into the screen here. If you want to turn it on, you got your different speeds, and then you can go to auto. Auto doesn't work very well for me. Any type of mist, it just goes off. And then sometimes when it's actually raining, it doesn't even work. So it's just kind of been hit or miss. So I just turn it on manually. And then if you want to actually clean the windshield with the windshield wipers or clean it with the fluid, you actually hold down this button and then it'll spray the windshield fluid. I know a question that most people ask is range. They get range anxiety, like how far can you actually drive? So I charge it at home, I charge it at work. I do drive about 140 miles a day and I have no problems. I've never had an issue with it. I've actually taken it on a road trip and have plenty of time to stop at a supercharger. It's really quick at supercharging. I am an aggressive driver. I drive it fast. It's always in sport mode. In the summer, I get about 90% of what it actually tells me that I'm supposed to get. So it's pretty spot on. Different story in the winter. When the battery is cold, it doesn't work as well, and I get about 60% range. So if I have a destination that's 100 miles away and it tells me I have 200 miles range, I know that I'm probably gonna use most of that mileage up in the winter. And I know that I probably could put it in chill mode and drive a little less aggressive, but that just sounds boring. With Tesla's bad reputation of fitment and paint issues, I was a little worried when I picked up the car. Luckily, there wasn't anything major on the car. I had a small dent in the fender here that Tesla, the service center, fixed right away. I was very happy with the service. As soon as I got the car, I put on paint protection film, I put window tint on, I ceramic coated the car. One of my biggest pet peeves about the car is actually I have the winter tires on here, so it's actually even worse. I got summer tires too. There was a big gap in here, and that's pretty normal on any Tesla, so I went ahead and I got some coilovers just to lower the car a little bit and give it a better stance. These winter wheels that I just put on, they're kind of sunken into the car. You can see how it doesn't look normal. I can get spacers to fix that, to pull that wheel out a bit so the fitment's a little bit better. The look of the car is pretty impressive. I know it's not a big deal, but my neighbors think I'm some sort of rock star because I drive a Tesla now, but I'm impressed with the look at it. I like the look of the car driving down the road. I like the updated trim that they did here. So this used to be all chrome with the doors and the trim panels here. I'm so glad that they decided to make that an in-house option of making that matte finish. It looks so much better. I did choose the white seats, which I was pretty nervous about at first, but right when I got them, I put a leather coating on there and they've been super easy to clean up. I'm surprised on how easy they are to clean up. These are not real leather, it's vegan leather. It's a lot softer than normal leather, which I was kind of worried about too, because usually when it's soft, it wears out quicker, but I've had zero problems. And these are absolutely the most comfortable seats I have ever sat in. So when I sit in other cars, if I'm going on a road trip and I'm driving in my wife's car or something, I come back into this I am so glad to be back in this. It is like sitting on a marshmallow. It is so comfortable. Mechanic issues, I haven't had a whole lot of mechanics issues. I haven't even been there very often. I mean, you don't have to do oil changes, which is great. I did change the cabin air filter, and I think that's kind of a known issue with the Model 3s, that it starts to stink. About after a year, it gets this like moldy, you know, old laundry smell, and that was pretty easy. The filter's only like 20 bucks and it's easy to change, so I did that. But otherwise, I really haven't had any mechanical issues at all. That's the great thing about these EVs, that there's just not a lot of mechanics in it. You know, even the brake pads, the regenerative braking system, the motor actually slows down the car so the brake pads don't wear out as fast. It's crazy. I did have to go to the service center once, but it wasn't for any mechanical issues. It was actually because I lost both of my key cards. So what's cool about Tesla is you don't get a key, you get 2 key cards, and then you can actually use your phone as a key too. And this is what I mostly use, is this as my key card. But if you want to give your car to somebody, or you need to drop it off for service, you have to have a key card. And if you lose both of them, it kind of sucks, because if you just lose one, you can order them and reprogram them yourself. But if you lose both of them, you have to go into Tesla and they have to reprogram them for you. So don't lose your key cards. They're not bad. They're only, I think it was $35 for 2 of these. The charger for the iPhone is right here. It's not like a fast charge or anything, but it does keep your phone charged while you're driving. Actually, I honestly put it in autopilot mode and I'm on my phone most of the time. Shh. The trunk has plenty of space. It's big. I can fit plenty back there. It's a mess. The frunk, I really don't use a whole lot. You gotta go inside and actually either use your phone or go into the controls to open it up. And there's not a whole lot of room. I don't put a whole lot in there. Overall, the past year with this car has been fantastic. I absolutely love it. I do miss the sound and the noise of a gasoline engine, but as a daily driver, this is perfect for what I need it for. I will probably end up getting a sports car just to itch that scratch. If you've been thinking about yourself, about getting a Tesla, stop thinking about it. There's nothing to think about it. You're gonna love the car, I promise. Just go get one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.